Now it's 7 o'clock. Take a look at your screen. Clark County Sheriff's deputies say they're looking for this man who they say robbed a bank in Vancouver.
And we are also live in Vancouver, where parents and some Evergreen public school staff workers will rally today ahead of a possible strike. Thomas Schultz joins us live with the details and the demands.
This really is the Clark County Hour because we're also live a little north of Vancouver in Ridgefield. That is the site of this first ever In-N-Out in the state of Washington. We've got adults, we've got kids, they've got the signs. Not taking orders just yet because the restaurant doesn't open until 10:30 this morning. But yeah, that line already long. We'll have more from Ridgefield on the new In-N-Out coming up here in the 7 o'clock hour of sunrise.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live at 7 o'clock. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. I should also point out, Rod Hill, we will have stories from the state of Oregon during this hour of sunrise as well. But man, there is a lot happening in Clark County this morning.
Is it safe to assume, do you think, that there are people in that In-N-Out line that actually planned ahead and took today off work
Yeah.
just to be in line to get the burger? Right?
The first guy in line got there at 8:16 last night, and he called out of work this morning.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Love that for him.
Hey, got to do what makes you happy, right? All right, this maybe doesn't make you happy. We have extreme heat watch issued from the Weather Service. This is basically the Weather Service tracking what we have been talking about the last several days. Their heat watch map, basically anything colored in has the possibility of getting up to 100 degrees. This is from Cottage Grove up through Portland, up into Kelso Longview, up into Castle Rock, in the gorge, out through Hood River. Now, reaching 100 degrees also in the Dalles, but not considered as non-typical as what's colored in on the map. So more on this coming up. Again, that heat wave, the worst of it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday upcoming. Rising sun from the Shalem Tasting Room in Sherwood, 58 degrees. Today's the last kind of typical day in terms of temperatures. It's going to be warm like it was yesterday, but pretty manageable. Here's the Oregon Zoo camera. Look for some decent crowds out there today. Maybe not so much this weekend when it's going to be really hot. 59 up in the West Hills currently. Portland out of PDX is 62. A lot of sun moving forward, 74 at noon. I have today's high at 83. Back to you.
All right, you have that heat alert, Rod, coming up this weekend. We also have this traffic alert. The Hawthorne Bridge will be closed to everyone for part of this coming weekend because of inspection work. So no cars, no bikes, no foot traffic between 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon and 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Then again from 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon until 6 o'clock Monday morning.
Portland and Gresham police are investigating two connected shootings that left two people hospitalized Tuesday night. Officers first responded around 6 p.m. to report gunfire between two vehicles near Northeast Gleason and 167th. The group separated, and about 40 minutes later, they returned to Pat Pfeiffer Park, about a half-mile away, where there was another shooting. Authorities confirmed two people were taken to the hospital, but so far no word on suspects or arrests.
The Clark County Sheriff's Office is looking for this man on your screen who they say robbed the U.S. Bank at Northeast 117th Avenue in Vancouver right around 11:30 yesterday morning. Deputies say the man implied that he had a gun before the robbery, and they also say he took off on a bike. So anyone with any information should contact the Clark County Sheriff's Office.
We now know the name of the teenager who drowned in the Columbia River last week. The Clark County Medical Examiner's Office says 16-year-old Anthony Tarnowski of Battleground died last Wednesday while swimming near Frenchman's Bar. A bystander tried to save him, but says the current swept the teen downstream. The Sheriff's Office is now warning people about a drop-off in the river about 10 to 15 feet from the shoreline where the current quickly picks up.
A fire in Sweet Home spread from a mobile home to three nearby structures. It started around 3:30 yesterday afternoon on Main Street near the intersection of Clark Mill Road. Sweet Home Fire shared these pictures that show the damage. Yeah, some of those pictures pretty dramatic. Again, from Sweet Home. Firefighters say by the time they got there, one mobile home was already engulfed in flames. Again, those flames spread to other structures. The fire was put out about an hour later, and they told us no one was hurt.
Tensions are growing in Southwest Washington with a potential strike as the school year starts. Classified workers in Evergreen public schools are expecting to rally for better wages later this morning.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live from the school district headquarters there in Vancouver. So Thomas, you talked about this maybe being a pretty long rally this morning.
Yeah, it's expected to be really long, guys. Going from 8:30 to noon today is the allotted time for it. Now, this is for paraeducators, mechanics, custodians, classified workers within the Evergreen School District. They're looking for a couple of things. One is better pay. They also want safe, sustainable working conditions. Parents, students, and other staff members are expected to join workers at that rally right outside public school headquarters here. If this sounds familiar, it's because it is. Evergreen dealt with a strike a couple years ago when teachers went on strike. That lasted almost 2 weeks, and again, they rallied right here outside district headquarters. Again, tensions are high here in Evergreen, and this is the time when the superintendent, when that last strike happened, the superintendent threatened to withhold pay from striking staff members. Now, parents tell me that classified workers here in Evergreen could do one of two options tomorrow. They could either agree to a new contract, ratifying that contract, or they could decide to go on strike after a mediation session. Still, a lot is unknown here. We reached out to the Evergreen Public School District to get their comment about this as well. We haven't heard back, but we'll bring you those updates once we have them. Drew, China.
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us there in Vancouver. Meanwhile, Providence Seaside will stop providing birth-related services, including labor and delivery, starting October 4th. The hospital says a drop in the number of births along with staffing challenges led to this decision, but it also wants to be clear that the hospital is not closing down altogether. Providence also says that families in the area can still access maternity care at Columbia Memorial Hospital in Astoria, as well as the Astoria Birthing Center.
Portland's first ever homeless village for people living in RVs is closing next month. Since the Sunderland RV Safe Park opened a couple of years ago, about 160 people have stayed there. The shutdown comes after City Council voted to stop funding the site after September 30th. And those we talked to say that if they don't have all the paperwork for their vehicles like registration and insurance, they'll be towed to a city storage lot.
It was really unfair, and it made us feel kind of like tricked, because when we came in here, we were never told we were risk losing our place. We were told we would get help getting a real place.
The city says it's working with the county to get everyone at the RV park into some sort of housing or transferred to other shelters. Our team at The Story covered this topic in much more detail. You can watch the latest episode anytime on our KGW YouTube channel or streaming on our free TV app, KGW+.
The Oregon Health Authority has lifted its toxic algae advisory for the Ross Island Lagoon and downriver to the Wapato Bridge and Kelly Point Park. Again, this is a story we've been talking about all morning long. Testing has confirmed that the levels of toxins in the water are below recreational guidelines. In other words, it's safe to go in the water again. But still, you should be on the lookout for algae blooms because they can develop anytime, especially when it's warm outside. All right, lots of double-doubles and animal-style fries served up today in Clark County because the first In-N-Out in the state of Washington will open up in just over 3 hours.
Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live from Ridgefield, where a lot of people are already in line, Corey.
That's exactly right, Drew. China, I don't think that I've ever craved a burger this early in the morning before, and I can say the same thing for dozens of people that are here right now lined up. Now, we got here around 5 in the morning, and the lines have continued to grow and grow outside of the restaurant that's set to open at 10:30. People waiting in line to get inside and eat in the dining room, but we also have long lines of cars, people who got here hours and hours ago that are just waiting to have their order placed because employees are taking their orders very early. This empty line that you see right here was filled with cars, and they've been ushering them closer to the building as we approach that opening time. Now, I want to take you over to a couple people who have been here for hours. And when I say hours, I mean hours. Abby Bailey is one of those people. Abby, how long have you been here?
So we got here at 9:20 last night. So it's been a while.
9:20 last night. Yeah. Oh my goodness. And so what have you guys been doing?
So we kind of stayed up till like 1 in the morning, and then we all kind of started to fall asleep because we got really tired, and then we've just been, hanging out.
You've got the In-N-Out t-shirt on, like
all of us, yeah. I got this in Arizona, and then 2 of them have California, but yeah.
And how far did you drive from?
We drove like 30 minutes away.
What are you planning to order?
I'm gonna get a burger with no onion, and then a strawberry shake, of course, because that's the best shake.
Oh, of course. Strawberry or nothing, right? Oh my goodness. And so were you expecting this many people to be out here so early?
Honestly, I was expecting more. I don't know. I thought it was like going to be like completely full and everything, but I mean it's pretty full. There's a lot of people.
Now, we talked to your dad a little bit earlier. Was he shocked that you guys wanted to come out so early?
Yes, he was like I don't even think there's going to be anybody there, and then like we heard something that there were already people lined up, so we're like
Dad, come on, Dad.
And then we got here and we were third in line. So this is pretty cool. But it's not first, but it's third, so it's not too bad.
Not too bad, right? Well, guys, we're going to be out here as more people continue to come ahead of that grand opening. Lots of people here ready to get their burger on.
So, yeah, third isn't first, but it still gets a ribbon usually. And in this case, you get a double-double.
Yeah.
And maybe we should let that young woman's dad know that if he was watching the Sunrise Show just yesterday, he would have known that we were anticipating this kind of long line, right? So come on, Dad, get with the program.
That's true.
All right, Corey Johnson live for us there in Ridgefield. Rodney, meanwhile, live in the Weather Center.
John, I can still hear you. The shakes, thumbs up, good?
I'm not a shake person.
Not
I've never gotten
person.
a shake.
Oh, not a shake person. Okay. Well, we learn something new every day. Here's a look at the gorge this morning. This is the camera at Elk Ridge Golf Course in Carson. So this is just a little bit east of Stevenson on the Washington side of the gorge, looking across at Oregon. Pretty morning out there. It's kind of a typical west wind if you're going to be out in the gorge today, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Daytime highs will make it to 80 and slightly warmer as you go into Hood River. 57 in Salem, mainly clear right now. Downtown Portland, we had some early cloudiness, but that's already getting out of here. So we have a lot of sun. We're at 62 degrees, and this will be a really nice day. Morning numbers, 50s and 60s, 62 in Gresham. Good morning to you. We have 57 in our capitals. We saw 54 is the number down in Corvallis. Looks like 60s through 11 a.m., 72, maybe a little bit warmer than that at noon. And then we easily get back up into at least the low 80s. Considered really comfortable, as you know, for this time of the year. It was 82 out at the airport yesterday, so we'll be similar. No 90s again today. Low to mid 80s, much of our state, inland areas, 60s to about 70 with sun at the coast. Lincoln City's cloudy right now, but we do think the coast opens up a good bit of sunshine. So our 7-day, tomorrow is the day that you start to notice the heat. 89, maybe 90. And then we have the KGW impact alert for the worst of the heat, nearing 100 on Friday and Saturday, maybe hitting it. 95 on Sunday, and it now looks like we will still be 90 or slightly above to start next week on Monday and Tuesday, and that is your forecast.
All right, Rod, coming up next here on Sunrise, we have a segment we call Take a Look at This. One of the stories we're taking a look at involves a bootylicious starfish, how it became the highlight of a deep sea dive. And then how about this black bear that popped open a car door looking for snacks? The Rod Hill of the wilderness, if you will. Again, we'll have more on this. Take a look at this when Sunrise continues.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On weather impact alert days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Off the coast of Argentina, a first-of-its-kind deep-sea exploration mission into an underwater canyon went viral after a cheeky little starfish was spotted on the live stream. Patrick Cornell gets to the bottom of that story in today's Take a Look at This.
A freaky-looking fish, a transparent octopus, a super spiky crab, and this, everyone else is seeing a starfish with a bodacious badonkadonk, right? That bootyful image becoming the highlight of the first ever live stream of a voyage into the Mar del Plata Canyon off the coast of Argentina. The Patrick Star lookalike might have stolen the show, but the bright lights also shined on an array of cool and quirky creatures. Using a remotely operated vehicle, researchers with the Schmidt Ocean Institute claim they discovered more than 40 new species lurking in the canyon, which dips more than 3,500 meters below the surface, such as this spectacular siphonophore swimming deep in the water. An incredible pack of pink Patagonian lobsterette known for living in the Argentine Sea, and a wide variety of coral seen shimmering during the deep water dive. The Institute claims the live voyage video was a hit across Argentina, with 17.5 million people tuning in to see these spectacular scenes, 3/4 of those from the country. Scientists say they'll need a little more time to officially confirm their findings. And another important quest not being carried out under the sea, or for science, but for snacks, we think. Still, no less significant of an endeavor. This black bear in Asheville, North Carolina popped open the doors of a car, rummaging around for sweet treats. The owner says the animal only found an empty seltzer can, paper, and a bottle of perfume. Sorry, buddy. After coming up empty-handed, the bear began waltzing away from the home and up a hill. Better luck next time. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
The bear's hungry. So are the people this morning. We've got lots of people out in Ridgefield, excited kids among them, getting ready for that big grand opening today. The first In-N-Out in the state of Washington opens up in 3 hours and 15 minutes at 10:30. This is another live look. We're covering the story for you all morning long. Look at all those cars. Look at the kids. They're not even thinking about going back to school in a couple of weeks. They're thinking about getting their In-N-Out burgers and fries right here, right now. Good job, kids. I think we're going to talk to that family coming up in our 7:30 half hour. In the meantime, we also have weather to talk about this morning.
Hot weather.
Here's what I want to do. Do you think if we held, like, we could do it in my backyard, advertise it, burgers for, I don't know, pick a number. Let's say burgers for 50 cents. Okay. Do you think we could eventually get a line of cars that would come to get a 50-cent burger? China's skeptical, I could tell.
No.
Hot Rod's Burgers and China's Fries. Come and get it.
China's fries.
Okay, now she's in.
Maybe.
Boy, it's all about you, isn't it? Here's a look at our satellite. We're going to get to our hot weather that Drew mentioned. If you are watching and you want to know the update on Hurricane Erin, not a lot of change from yesterday. It's clearly moving to the north. There are rain bands now, outer rain bands reaching the outer banks of North Carolina. It's a Category 2 storm. Sustained winds at 100 miles per hour. Still expected to stay out, see the center of the storm, nearing, say, North Carolina within 200 miles. But again, as we talked the last couple of days, when you're on what we say is the backside of the storm in the Atlantic or the west side, you typically don't get hit very bad. And then you add the fact that you're almost 200 miles away from the center of the storm. So big surf continues to be the main concern here. Obviously, that's dangerous to be in the water and could produce some beach erosion as well. By Friday, it's clearly turning northeast away from the U.S. into colder Atlantic waters. Okay, now to our extreme heat watch. This is very identical in many ways to the last batch of heat. The last batch of heat, there was one day that the Dows went 105. There was a day you folks in Salem went 102. PDX went 99, 99, 99. The National Weather Service office, which is by the airport, hit 100 degrees one day. So we think we're going to be right there again. And this is from Cottage Grove through Eugene, through Salem, Portland, Vancouver, Kelso, Longview, Castle Rock, and then in the gorge out into the Hood River Valley. And if you're wondering, what about the Dows? Well, it will still be 100 degrees in the Dows. It's just that that's more common than 100 is for the rest of us. So therefore, it's not alerted to, if that makes sense. All right. Portland. So for right now, I'm leaving 98 on the board. But in my mind, definitely hit 100. I think if we're going to hit 100, Saturday's the better chance to do so in Portland. We'll see how toasty we get. The records are 98 Friday, 101 Saturday, both in jeopardy, 99 on Sunday, which is not out of reach, by the way. So the worst of the heat, those 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Kind of a cool look of some shallow fog and partly cloudy and some blue up top. You can see some sun hitting the beach in spots. Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, 56. We think the coast goes on to have a pretty sunny day. Mount Hood, let's see here, 46. So we're headed up to the high country today. Temperatures at pass level will reach 70 degrees, maybe 72. Here's Providence Park. Sunshine over the city this morning, 59 degrees. Other temperatures for you, no weather-related issue. Everybody's going to have sun, and we're starting off 50s and 60s across our 2 states. Valley forecast numbers have Salem at 85, and then just slightly cooler, low 80s up in southwest Washington, Longview 80, and then we've got Portland's 7-day. Here it comes. So 83 today. Take advantage. I'm going to mow the front yard today because I don't want to do it the next couple days. It'll be turning much hotter, nearing 90 tomorrow, then the near 100 on Friday and Saturday, and the 3 days of the impact alert for the worst of the heat, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's your forecast.
All right, thank you, Rod. Take a look at this now. An explosion outside a vet hospital in North Carolina sends 4 firefighters to the hospital. This was a huge scene. Coming up on Sunrise, a look at the man police say was behind that explosion. Sunrise live at 7 o'clock continues after this.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to Sunrise. Russia is escalating its assault on eastern Ukraine, even as the Kremlin suggests it may be open to negotiations to end the 3.5-year war. The White House says it's trying to arrange a face-to-face meeting between Presidents Putin and Zelensky. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest for us from Washington, D.C.
On the front lines of eastern Ukraine, relentless Russian strikes underscoring what's at stake as the White House seeks a location for a face-to-face meeting between Ukraine's President Zelensky and Russia's President Putin.
And then after that meeting, if everything works out, okay, I'll meet and we'll wrap it up.
Finding where to meet, no easy task, with Putin facing arrest for war crime charges and many countries party to the International Criminal Court. A White House official telling NBC News President Trump spoke with Hungary's leader and that Budapest is being considered, as well as Geneva. Russia has yet to publicly confirm Putin will meet with Zelensky, though the White House says he agreed to. Ukraine and European allies worried Putin will play for time are pressing for an immediate ceasefire, rather than the broad peace deal President Trump favors following his Putin summit in Alaska. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff defending the approach.
A ceasefire deal is very, very easy to break because it doesn't have all the ingredients attached to it.
Also noting the importance of guarantees for Ukraine's future security, though President Trump now says the U.S. will not send ground troops to join a European peacekeeping force, while not ruling out military support from the air.
It is an option and a possibility.
As the president acknowledges he can't be sure Putin is ready to end the war.
I think Putin is tired of it. I think they're all tired of it, but you never know. It's possible that he doesn't want to make a deal.
Looming unknowns on the path to peace. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Here's a look at some other national headlines with your morning rush. Police arrested a man in Wilmington, North Carolina, who's accused of causing a gas explosion that injured 4 firefighters. Police say 46-year-old Jason Lee Beach was driving drunk when he hit a gas line outside a new veterinary hospital, then drove away. Minutes later, that building exploded. Beach faces multiple charges. Court documents say that one of the 4 firefighters who were hurt suffered broken bones to their hands and to their head. Protesters at the Texas state capitol were evacuated after reports of a possible active shooter. The capitol and grounds were shut down just before a planned protest yesterday. Authorities say the alert came from an anonymous tip about a social media post. Protesters later gathered outside the gates. And the White House has joined TikTok even as the app faces a possible ban here in the U.S. The White House account launched on Tuesday ahead of a September 17th deadline for parent company ByteDance to sell TikTok to a U.S. buyer or be banned across the country. The White House account drew more than 20,000 followers on its first day. And that's a look at your morning rush.
It's just, you against this corporation.
Call it a homeowner's nightmare. We have this brand new investigative report all about one family's fight with their home insurances. That story at 7:30.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best. Good morning on a Wednesday. I'm Rod Hill. We have a nice day coming up. It's going to be very similar to yesterday. A lot of sun. Temperatures in Portland, 82 yesterday. I've got to 83 today. Take advantage. This is the final day before temperatures starting tomorrow start going up in a hurry. So some live cameras to get you out the door on this Wednesday. There's our state capital down in Salem, 57 degrees. No wind being reported. Beautiful blue sky. And look how glassy and mirrored the reflection is off of the Willamette in downtown. We're at 62 degrees this morning. I have a 74 at noon, very nice, and there's that high temperature of 83, considered pretty much normal for August. Now here's the 7-day, and it does get hot in a hurry. There could be some areas hit 90 as soon as tomorrow. We've got Portland at 89. Then we've got the KGW weather impact alert with the extreme heat watch that the Weather Service has issued for these same 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Certainly Friday and Saturday have the potential for 100-degree temperatures here in the valley, very similar to the last heat wave we had. Unlike the last heat wave, we could still be in the 90s on day 4 and on day 5, potentially.
$7:30 in the morning on a Wednesday. Look at those guys.
Paul, Mike, and
Andy.
yeah.
Paul, Mike, and Andy getting ready for the big opening today out there in Ridgefield. The first ever In-N-Out in the state of Washington. In fact, it's only the second In-N-Out in our entire viewing area.
Yeah.
Portland, Vancouver, Salem, the coast, Eastern Oregon. We only have two. The one down in Kaiser. Now this one in Ridgefield, which doesn't open until 10:30, but we've already got that big line out there. Lots of people ready to go to work. Lots of people ready to eat some burgers and fries. The newest member of our Sunrise team, Corey Johnson, is going to bring us another live report in less than 10 minutes. But what do we say to all those people waiting for their food this morning, China?
Good morning. That's so exciting. And I thought it would be busier. I really did.
What?
I did. So now that I see that, I think I'm feeling more hopeful that I'll be able to get a burger within the next 6 months.
Well, the camera's not showing like any emptiness. What we're seeing on the camera shot is all cars.
I know. I just thought it would be, it looks busy. I thought it was going to be like chaotic.
Like cars literally parked on top of cars.
Yeah.
You thought people were going to be dropping in by helicopter.
Yeah. Dang it.
That would be cool.
Yes, the paratroopers landing for burgers and fries.
Yes.
All right, we'll have more on that coming up. Rod's got your weather right now.
Honestly, if our show had a bigger and better budget, we would have done that. Drew and I and China would have been lowered in by helicopter. Darn that budget. Here's a look at our Snookwiz Casino Resort camera in Lincoln City. This has been really cool looking because you've got the little mini head there. You've got some fog. You've got some blue up top. You've got some sun hitting the beach. Generally, you folks at the coast, good morning to you. Partly to mostly sunny, a nice day, 60s to maybe a few spots, make it up to 70s today. There's not much wind expected. Here's a look at Portland, just perfectly clear. You don't really ever see the Willamette more flat than that with such a beautiful reflection of the downtown cityscape. 62 is the number. And here we go for today, 74 noon. I'm making a big deal of telling you I'm going to go home and mow the yard today, 83 at 5 o'clock. I don't want to do it tomorrow because it's going to be near 90. I don't want to mow the yard this weekend because it's going to be near 100. Get things done today. Back to you.
Yeah, your heat alert, a big deal for sure, Rod. This traffic alert, smaller potatoes, but still worth mentioning. The Hawthorne Bridge will be closed to everyone for part of this coming weekend because of inspection work. So no cars, no bikes, no foot traffic between 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon and 6 o'clock Sunday morning. Then again from 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon until 6 o'clock Monday morning.
Washington State Crime Lab matched the DNA of Travis Decker and only Travis Decker to the DNA found on items that were used to kill his 3 young daughters. Deputies say this is further evidence that Decker is the only suspect in their murders. The girls' bodies were found in June near a campsite west of Leavenworth. Decker is still on the loose despite a nearly 3-month manhunt. The U.S. Marshal Service is offering a $20,000 reward for any information that leads to Decker's arrest.
Lawmakers in Oregon and Washington are pushing back against threats from the Trump administration over sanctuary immigration policies.
The governors of both states say that they will not change their values. Here's KGW's Evan Watson with more.
The U.S. government is pressuring states like Washington and Oregon to change its sanctuary laws and immigration policies. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson says there's no chance.
Washington State will not be bullied or intimidated by threats and legally baseless accusations.
Last week, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi sent a letter to sanctuary states and cities across the country, saying sanctuary policies are obstructing and thwarting a federal crackdown on illegal immigration. Through sanctuary policies, local and state resources don't cooperate or assist with federal immigration enforcement.
If people are doing bad things, it is the responsibility of the federal government, who now just got how many billions of dollars more to do their job. Do your damn job and leave us the hell alone.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek responded to AG Bondi in a letter saying Oregon doesn't obstruct immigration enforcement and the state is in compliance with federal law. Washington State Representative Julio Cortez says sanctuary laws represent a promise.
This law is about keeping local resources focused where they belong, on protecting public safety and not carrying out the work of federal immigration enforcement. It ensures that when a parent drives their kid to school, when a worker gets to their job site, or when someone calls 911 in an emergency, that help will come without fear that help will come with handcuffs and deportation.
Bondi says the Trump administration could cut contracts and grants to sanctuary areas as punishment for their lack of cooperation. Ferguson says he'll take that on.
Look, we have to navigate that. We're going to find a way to navigate the billions of dollars in cuts to Medicaid. That we also have to make sure we are, as a state, upholding our values as a state.
Again, that was Evan Watson reporting for us this morning. The city of Portland also replied to Attorney General Pam Bondi's letter, saying that the city complies with applicable federal and state laws and will continue to follow such laws.
Meantime, a Portland resident who sued the city saying police weren't enforcing noise rules outside the ICE facility that they live next to says that she is now considering more legal action. So the attorney for Cloud Elvengrail, who lives in the apartments across the street, says for 70 days she put up with yelling, loud bangs, and people pounding on her door. A judge ruled that she would not override police discretion. We heard from her lawyer, who called it a blow to everyone in the neighborhood.
Kind of a cyclical pattern. Every night, the rioter protesters are acting well beyond what free speech laws allow. They are violating all kinds of time, place, manner restrictions. And
in a statement, Mayor Keith Wilson's office said, quote, "The city is grateful for the court's thoughtful consideration of this matter." Elvengrail's lawyer says that they're considering taking other legal actions.
A woman from Everett, Washington, and her 6-year-old son are back home after ICE detained them for 3 weeks. So this is a look at Sarah Shaw. She works for the state of Washington. She's also a New Zealand citizen and has a work visa. Sarah says ICE detained her and her son at the Canadian border because of a visa issue after she dropped off 2 of her other kids at the Vancouver, BC airport.
I was like the minority in that situation. Most of the people that were there spoke Spanish. If I needed to go to the bathroom, Isaac was there yelling at me outside the stall. If I wanted to take a shower, he had to come with me. So it was like we were like completely like joined to the hip.
ICE released Shaw without her documents. She told us she still has to go to court to get this matter resolved. And she also says she's working with an attorney to get her ankle monitor removed. All right, might we call this the biggest news story of the day?
Yeah.
We might. It's a big day for Clark County. The first In-N-Out in the state of Washington will open up at 10:30 this morning, so we're now less than 3 hours away from that.
And people from across the state are expected to come for this grand opening. Sunrise reporter Corey Johnson joins us live from Ridgefield, where people started getting in line early this morning, even last night.
That's right, Drew, China. People have come from far and wide. Some people drove hours just to be here for this opening that's set for 10:30 this morning. Now, we haven't gotten a burger yet, but this is the next best thing. I want to show you this. In-N-Out t-shirts. This is the prize that was given to the first people who were in line in order to be here as soon as it opened. And so this is the t-shirt that a lot of those people received. Multiple people, dozens of people lined up right now outside of the building, in their cars as well. 4 lines right now. There's traffic enforcement that's making it easy for people to park in an organized way. Again, some people got here really late last night in order to be some of the first people in line. People wearing t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, all in the name of In-N-Out. We've gotten to speak with so many super fans over the last few hours, and we also get to talk to the Wells family right now. Come over here, Mom. So you guys have been here for a really long time. Tell us what time you got here.
We got here at 9:30 last night.
Wow.
My daughter's been planning this for months. She wanted to camp out, so here we are.
And let's talk to her. How you doing? What's your name?
My name is Joby.
Hi, Jovi. And show us your sign. Oh my gosh, you made that?
Yeah.
That is so exciting. You're all dressed up. You're ready to go for In-N-Out. Why do you love In-N-Out so much?
Well, we went to it all the time when we used to go to Disneyland in California. So I guess it's kind of like memories, I think, is probably why. It's also really good food.
It's also really good. And what about you, brother? What are you going to order?
The regular, I guess. Double. Yeah. Yeah, and chocolate shake, of course. Obviously.
Obviously a chocolate shake, Mom. And what about you? What do you want to eat?
A cheeseburger and soda.
Oh my gosh, how adorable. How adorable. I can't take it. But yes, the Wells family, you guys have been here for a long time. And I mean, did you expect so many people to get here so early along with you?
You know, I didn't actually. My husband and the kids came by about 9 o'clock to do a little recon mission, and he saw that it was open, so we ended up being fourth in line. So that was kind of cool. You know, core memories, the things you do for your kids, right?
Exactly. I think they're going to remember this for years to come. And so, as I said, we've been out here for hours, lots of long lines forming, but they have started to push people closer toward the actual drive-through lane up there, closer toward the building. Coming up at 8 o'clock, we're going to talk with staff at In-N-Out to tell us about the grand opening and all they have planned. It's going to be a really big day here in Ridgefield, and we're all hungry. We're all looking forward to it.
Corey, I think my favorite moment from your coverage just happened when you said to that young man, you're going to get fries, and he said, obviously. He hit you with an obviously.
I mean, obviously.
Corey's doing great work for us out there. We're not done with the story, of course. We'll continue to follow the opening of the In-N-Out as it opens at 10:30 this morning. Rod Hill.
Yes.
Have you come up with a particular order that you want to get this morning at the grand opening?
Now, do they have bacon options, China, or
no? No bacon.
They don't.
They have pepperoncinis that you can get.
I like pepperoncinis, so just the double cheeseburger, I guess, with the pepperoncinis.
There you go.
Fries and probably just a Coke.
You got that bacon behind you, right? That slice of bacon behind you.
Yeah. I do want to point out, because I feel like I'm speaking for all of us who live up in Clark County. We consider ourselves to be progressive people. And I do want to say that we've actually had burgers in Clark County for decades.
Yeah, good to point that out.
Not the same, but close.
You know what I was talking about when I said the piece of bacon behind you?
Oh, this?
Yes.
The heat map, because it's that bacon color. Yes, Mr. Carney. Bacon sizzles. The heat watch will sizzle as well, is what Mr. Carney is referring to. So we still are tracking our next heat wave, with the worst of it being Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The Weather Service popped up an extreme heat watch. Step one for them recognizing this heat coming in. And the map is almost identical. I think it is identical, quite frankly, to the last heat watch we had from about Cottage Grove up through Portland, up into Kelso, Longview, and then in the gorge out into Hood River. We're talking temperatures 96 to 102. It will be even hotter out in the Dalles, but 100-degree temperatures east of Hood River, not as unusual as the west side. So when the Weather Service issues watches and warnings for temperature, it's largely dependent on what is considered unusual for that particular area. So that's why you folks in Wasco County are not included. Remember last time the Dallas Airport hit 105. You could easily do that again this time around. All right, here's the Reserve Vineyards Golf Club in the Lois. Just looking off to the west, beautiful sunshine. Today is your final opportunity in a good week to get things done, with temperatures in the afternoon only peaking in the low to mid 80s. The heat starts to turn up big time tomorrow. Now, the temperature outside at, here we go, 62 degrees. And then I do want to show you, if you go over to the east side of town, there's some cloudiness. This is Camas Meadows Golf Course, but these clouds will be getting out of here. And you folks out in Camas and Washougal and Gresham, you all become sunny as well. We have clouds out in Gresham at this hour as well. Portland's at 61. I just want to jump to our 7-day forecast. Today we have a comfortable day as we get up to about 83, 89 tomorrow, so the heat gets turned up. And then the more extreme heat, nearing 100 degrees and maybe hitting it Friday and Saturday, and still well up into the 90s on Sunday. Our impact alert in red for the hot weather coming. That is your update.
Thank you, Ron.
It seems like they shouldn't be able to do that, to cancel you until your claims are all closed, because they're making it really hard for you to find somebody else.
Still to come on Sunrise, a couple left struggling to find a new insurance agency after State Farm dropped them following a string of bad luck from last year's ice storm. Sunrise streaming live at 7 continues right after this.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Next up here on Sunrise, a KGW investigation into a homeowner's nightmare that also comes with a warning for other local families.
Yeah, a Portland couple says that they were dropped from their insurance company after last January's winter storm and then a burglary. KGW investigative reporter Kyle Boshi has a story.
Basically, everything in this room had to be replaced.
Months of renovation and repair work hide the scars that Shuju Wong and Mike Coleman's home suffered in January of last year.
This area had a lot of water damage.
Their place in West Portland Park took a direct hit during a severe winter storm.
It looks like one tree went into the upstairs bedroom, and that's probably what also crashed into the other bath.
Ice and wind brought down several huge branches and trees, busting through their ceiling and smashing the floor.
I mean, it's raining and snowing right into the house.
One of the trees took out the water line, so we had water gushing downstairs. So we had water damage upstairs and downstairs.
They packed up and left, but while they were gone, burglars broke in.
You can't secure the house. It's got trees cutting through it and everything. And, you know, it's probably a really tempting target because you know there's no one living in there.
Days later, police made an arrest and recovered some of the items, but a lot of the stolen stuff was gone. Investigators said it had been sold off.
They burglarized several homes around here, so it wasn't just us. They went around the neighborhood, they figured out which house they could get in, and they burglarized a whole bunch of people.
The Portland couple hoped to put this whole mess behind them. They filed a claim with their insurance and hired a contractor to fix the damage. But their problems didn't go away. In May, with all the repairs nearly complete, Shuju and Mike got a letter from State Farm Insurance explaining the company cannot continue this policy because of the overall claim activity. In short, State Farm suggested it was still going to cover the claim for theft and storm damage, but going forward, Shuju and Mike had to find some other insurance.
It seems like they shouldn't be able to do that, to cancel you until your claims are all closed, because they're making it really hard for you to find somebody else.
And sure enough, several companies declined to provide coverage.
The 2 claims in 1 year is one strike against you, but the open coverage thing is another.
State Farm wouldn't talk specifics, citing customer privacy. But in a statement, the company explained how decisions are made whether to insure property. We look at each customer's situation on a case-by-case basis. State Farm considers factors such as the location of the property relative to natural hazards, condition of the property, and the customer's past claim activity and history.
It's just, you against this corporation.
With nowhere else to turn, Shuju and Mike enrolled in the Oregon FAIR Plan, state-sponsored insurance for property owners who who can't find coverage anywhere else. This option of last resort has seen a growing number of policies in recent years as insurance companies have raised premiums, canceled policies, or left the state altogether.
Especially with the climate change and stuff like that, I think that a lot more people are going to run into situations like this where they lose their coverage.
The renovation is finished, but for Shuju and Mike,
Any paperwork I kept in a file.
the red tape and canceled insurance policy have created damage no contractor can repair. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
All right, following that report from Kyle, we'll take this live look outside, a look at Mount Hood there in the distance. I believe this is our sky cam in the Dalles showing off Mount Hood on this Wednesday morning. Rod Hill stepping into the picture here. What do you got for us, Rod?
By the way, true story. I've had burgers in the Dalles. I've had a burger up at Timberline Lodge on Mount Hood. So my point is, we have burgers everywhere.
This is
we have these people waiting in line.
Some people are just tuning in.
Hours.
They may not have been watching 7 minutes ago to the story you're referencing, but there is an In-N-Out opening today in Ridgefield.
And we've been reporting people have been there since what, 8:16? Was that the earliest?
Yeah, 8:16 last night.
For the 10:30 opening. Wow.
Chime in if you'd like to.
8:16.
Thank you.
Jono loves In-N-Out. Here's a look at our Northwest wildfire map. This is a stunning map to me. I touched on this. It's been a couple of weeks ago now when I started to highlight for you how blessed we have been with the lack of overall huge numbers of wildfires this summer. Now, if you're watching us from the gorge, I get it. We've had several horrific fires out there, and we have lost dozens of homes, and that has been a bad bullseye. There are no wildfires burning in the gorge right now. The only one in Oregon, period, is 100% contained, and that's this fire down near the Idaho border out there in what would be Mount Hero County. We've got 3 fires only burning up in the northern tier of Washington, and the only one that's not showing good containment is this one. It's burned about 3,000 acres, the Palmas fire. So again, I simply cannot recall our wildfire activity overall through the third part of August, now getting into the last part of August, being so quiet. So I wanted to highlight that because obviously with the upcoming heat wave and the extreme temperatures nearing 100 degrees, vegetation will become much drier than it already is. Any sparks statewide could quickly get out of hand in the coming days as we get back to these hot temperatures. So if you're doing machinery work, if you're camping, whatever, just keep that in mind, extra vigilance, if you will. My forecast for Portland starting Friday, which is when the heat wave really kicks in, 98 Saturday, 98, 95 Sunday. Still thinking I may have to raise these numbers higher, not lower them. The record for Friday is 98 out at PDX, site specific, 101 Saturday, 99 Sunday. All 3 of these records are a possibility to tie or break, by the way. All right, Salem Sky Camera this morning. Today is the final comfortable day with low to mid 80s before we get up closer to 90 starting tomorrow. 57 in Salem out the door. This is the Chehalem tasting room camera. Some cloudiness, but generally mostly sunny over the vineyard now. 60 degrees looking out to the east. 55 down in Eugene. Everybody's going to have a beautiful day. We've got a mixed bag of sun and cloudiness at the beach right now. Newport has had some fog last time I looked. 57 down in the Quinta Bay area. 59 degrees in John Day. Our valley forecast showing the sun, and 85 in McMinnville and Salem expected. Northwest winds generally light, 5 to 15. Southwest Washington closer to 80 to 83. PDX at 82 yesterday, 83 today. So you're not going to notice any difference. A lot of sun. Tomorrow is the day you feel the heat starting to come back. 89, maybe 90. And then nearing 100, maybe reaching 100 in Portland on Friday and Saturday. Still at least mid-90s on Sunday. KGW weather impact alert for the worst of the heat. And now growing confidence that we will still at least be 90 on Monday and on Tuesday of next week. And that is your forecast.
Thank you, Rod. Say goodbye to the old Beaverton High. Next on Sunrise, a sneak peek at the $253 million project that's set to welcome Beaverton students next school year. We'll be right back.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW+.
We are entering the home stretch of this year's KGW School Supply Drive. 9 more days to help us out. We still need the most basic of supplies: the pencils, the paper, the crayons, the markers, the glue sticks. You can drop those supplies off, by the way, at any On Point Community Credit Union branch, any Rick's Custom Fencing location, or one of our other community partners that's collecting for us this year, like the Old Spaghetti Factory. Big shout out to them this morning. Also this week, Windermere Real Estate is matching the first $5,000 donated to the drive. So we thank them, along with On Point and Rick's and Safeway, for everything they're doing to make this year's school supply drive a big success. Check this out. Starting next school year, kids at Beaverton High School will be walking around in some brand new hallways. So we got a sneak peek yesterday at what will be the new Beaverton High. 3 stories, 300,000 square feet, room for about 1,500 students. A bond measure that voters passed 3 years ago is paying for this $253 million project. So again, this will be the last school year coming up for the current Beaverton High School, which first opened way back in 1916.
Coming up at 8 o'clock, Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live at 8:30 from Vancouver. That's where staff at the Evergreen School District are set to rally ahead of a potential strike.
Again, the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise comes your way in 3 minutes.